Hi guys, welcome back to the Library of Alexandria. And today guys, I have announcements, and they are announcements that are super exciting, and I am super excited to announce said exciting announcements. So if you've been following along with Shelf Space announcements, you'll know that we're in the middle of a readathon, and this month the Shelf Space book club pick is Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, and we'll be having a live show this weekend to talk about it with Leslie over at the Nerdy Narrative, and Leslie's the best if you're not subscribed to her. Next month, we will be reading The Wolf by Leo Carew, and the host for that will be Leanna from Leanna's Library. If you missed this announcement video where Jesse announced all of this, I'll link that down below. So I am pleased to announce the hosts and the book picks for the 3 months following that. So the way we do this in Shelf Space is we pick a host, and then the host chooses between 4 and 5 books to kind of submit, and then I choose a book from their list of 4 or 5 based on, any number of factors. And so I am pleased to announce that the host for August, it's actually a 2-for-1 deal. Instead of one host, we're getting 2. It is Ryan and Kristen from Seeking Stories. If you are not already subscribed to their channel is amazing. They talk about what goes into making a compelling narrative, not just in books, but also in films. So there's a ton of film content on their channel as well. And they are husband and wife. They run the channel together. I'm so excited that they're going to be joining us, and their book pick is Boosh, The Dark That Dwells, which is a self-published novel by Matt Digman and Ryan Roddy. So guys, I must have been knee-deep in Mass Effect when Ryan and Kristen submitted their choices, because I saw this and I had heard this was really good from both Leslie and my buddy Sam, whose opinions I value. And they both really, really liked it. And I asked them, would I like this book? And they said, yes, you will like it as well. And I'm knee-deep in Mass Effect, and this is a science fiction kind of like space opera. I mean, everyone says space opera with science fiction, but reading the back, it reminds me of a cross between Mass Effect and D&D. So I'll just read the one paragraph. An honorable mercenary and his shape-shifting partner embark on a mission to make a name for themselves. A battle-hardened soldier rides a dropship through a storm-ravaged sky, burdened by the ghosts of his past. A fanatical zealot, gifted with malevolent power and a starship feared across generations, hunts the only heretic to ever escape him. That's my favorite character right there, and I haven't even read it yet. And a young woman, wielding arcane fire and lightning, searches a temple on a remote world for the lost knowledge that could save her people. This sounds so cool. I am here for this. That's all I know about it. I don't want to have anything else spoiled, but I have heard really nothing but good things about this book. This copy was very, very kindly sent to me by the authors. I am super excited to read this. I hope if you guys have not read this and it's been on your to-do list for this year to read more self-public fiction or to read more science fiction, this would fit the bill for both. Join us in August with Ryan and Kristen at Seeking Stories. Now, in September, my co-host will be the amazing Angela from the Literature Science Alliance, and if you're not subscribed to her, go subscribe to her. Her channel is amazing. She reads a bunch of fantasy and sci-fi. She actually is one of the premier sci-fi booktubers on BookTube right now. She has also really great videos about the science behind the magic. She did vampires or memories. I don't know. And then, she did one about the science behind Jurassic Park, which is freaking awesome. Her videos are quality. She also loves board games. We're doing a board game video collab here pretty soon. And her pick for September is Boosh, Hyperion by Dan Simmons. So this is a book that both she and I have read before, but it was many moons ago, and both of us were looking for an excuse to reread it. And we're like, you know what? Let's do it for Shelf Space. So that way a bunch of you guys who have not read Hyperion can jump in and read Hyperion with us as well. Or if you've read it, you can jump in and talk to a bunch of people who have just recently read Hyperion. So Hyperion takes place at the Time Tombs, whatever, it's a sci-fi book as well. So the Time Tombs are opening, and there's this thing called the Shrike, which is just this dude in a metal spiky armor. And I forget, I don't even remember anything. But it's based kind of off of Geoffrey Chaucer's Canterbury Tales, so there's 6, maybe 7, I don't know. There's several characters sitting around the Time Tombs telling each other about how they ended up at the Time Tombs. And so it's kind of little vignettes or novellas within it, and it is one of the premier science fiction books It's a classic for sure. I remember loving this last time I read it, even though I remember nothing about it. I remembered an evil clown, and then I looked, and there's not an evil clown. So I don't know what I was remembering. Not it. Like, I specifically remember there being a clown in this, and there's not. But if you have ever wanted to read Hyperion, I know Hyperion has been, Books with Brittany and Mike have just recently read or reread Hyperion, and so it's getting a lot of buzz right now, so if you have not yet jumped on that bandwagon and read it, come join us in September. And then in October, my guest will be none other than the illustrious Dr. Philip Chase. And if you haven't seen his most recent video where in the thumbnail he's in one of them white tank top undershirts flexing on AP and Ruth and Bad, I'm just gonna put that thumbnail right there so you can see the flexing professor. Guys, if you're not already subbed to Philip Chase, I actually don't know what's going on, because it'd be weird if you were subbed to me and not Philip Chase. Philip is one of the smartest people I know. He is big into the Malazan Book of the Fallen, but also the best of fantasy, and he carries the Tweed vote by an incredible margin. But he's also one of the nicest people I've met on BookTube. He is wonderful. He is a dear friend of mine, and guys, when he submitted his list to me, and I looked at it, I'm like, really? Like, how could I not choose this book? Guys, Dr. Philip Chase wants to talk Discworld, and so on here he put Boosh, Guards by Terry Pratchett, first book in the City Watch series. So guys, I read this last year. I'm going to read it again, and I don't even care. This is one of my favorite books of all time, and I know a bunch of you have read it recently, and that's amazing. You can, in October, come and talk to me and the professor about it. But Philip has not read it, and he's been wanting to get more into Discworld, and he wanted to talk with me about Discworld because I am a huge Discworld fan. And for those of you who have not yet delved into Discworld, those of you who have not yet made the plunge, or you're still wondering where you should start, or you're meaning to get around to it but you haven't yet, now in October, all of your excuses are defenestrated, tossed out the window. So, guys, join me and Philip in October where we will be reading Guards, where, I guess I should tell you what it's about. I'm getting so ahead of myself. Guards follows Captain Samuel Vimes, who is the head of this, the head of the Night Watch in the city called Ankh-Morpork on the Discworld, and the Watch is ridiculed and not taken seriously, but someone has summoned a dragon, and even though they are terrible policemen, they are not going to let a dragon mess up the city. And it goes from there, and Terry Pratchett is one of, he's the most brilliant writer that has ever lived. That's what I'm saying. Since Shakespeare, he's the most brilliant. His ability to wordsmith and there's never a word out of place with Pratchett. He is the best with verbal humor, and his puns are incredible, and there are so many pop culture references in everything you read, and it's funny. If you like Monty Python, you will like Guards. Just one of the opening scenes with the elucidated brethren of the Ebon Knight. It's just freaking hysterical. So there's no more excuses to not read Guards. Join me and Philip. If you are not yet part of the Shelf Space Book Club, link to the Discord is down in the description, and you can come join and read any or all of those, or if you've read them, just join us for the discussion. It's gonna be awesome. Now, my final announcement, and this is what I am so excited about. We have just concluded this month the Feb Rising Readalong on my channel. We started in February with Red Rising, and we've gone all the way through June with Dark Age, which is the last Red Rising book that is out. And so I decided, guys, it was so much fun. Just kind of a bunch of us reading it on the server, talking about it, having these live shows. It has been so much fun, and I decided I wanted to do another one. And so I chose some kind of lesser known works of kind of science fiction, mostly science fiction, and we voted on my server. Winning by a large margin, we will be reading the first 4 books of Adrian Tchaikovsky's Shadow of the Apt series. This series is actually a 10-book series, but it is kind of difficult to commit just myself or get other people to commit to a 10-book series. But in this, everywhere says that essentially the first 4 books are a pretty complete arc. You can walk away being pretty happy about that storyline being wrapped up. And then there's 5, 6, and 7 are kind of standalone-y, and then books 8, 9, and 10 are another arc. So we're just going to read that first arc, and then anyone who wants to continue on will, but it won't be for the channel read-along. Now, the Shadow of the Apt series, first of all, Adrian Tchaikovsky, if you haven't read him, I read Guns of the Dawn. It was my favorite book that I read last month. It was, like, it's just so good. I really, really enjoyed it. Many of you may have read Children of Time, which is probably his most famous book currently, at least the one that I keep hearing people talk about. So Shadow of the Apt is a 10-book series that follows humans have kind of evolved alongside insects to where they're called kindin. Humans have kind of taken on characteristics of these insects. So they're not bug people. They just kind of have abilities like of certain bugs. But it's very kind of like Industrial Revolution kind of tech. There's magic, but there's also like airships. Like the mantis kindin have like evolved like these blades on their hands and stuff like that. And it just seems really, really unique and a different take on something. I have heard that the first book is a little slow, but after that, things pick up, and it's got really great characters, which I loved his character work in Guns of the Dawn. It's supposed to be really interesting. I think it is going to be a blast, and every month, just like last time, we will have a live show where me and some guest hosts will talk about the book that we read this month. Now, if you are curious and you want to know more about this series before you decide if you want to read it, I'm going to link Dom's video below. He's the only person I know that's read that whole series, and he made a video on why you should read Shadow of the Apt, and it pretty much will dispel any kind of like preconceived notions you have about it, and will answer any question you may have about whether or not you think you should try this series. So I'm going to link that down below. Please check that out, because it made me even more excited to read this series. So we're going to call this, last was Feb Rising. This is going to be called August of the Apt. We're going to start in August with book 1, and that is Boosh, Empire in Black and Gold. And this book is about the Wasp Empire is kind of based on the Roman Empire, and so it's expanding. And anything based on the Roman Empire, like, I'm just a sucker and I'm sold. So this is about, there's a lot of political intrigue apparently, there's a lot of war, there's like industrial era technology, so it's almost kind of flintlock fantasy-ish, which, yes! I am just so excited to be starting this. I don't know who the guest hosts are going to be, but book 2 in September will be Boosh, Dragonfly Falling. And it's weird because books 1 and 2 are the longest. And then book 3, which hasn't come in yet for me, is called Blood of the Mantis. That will be in October. And it is shorter than these first 2. And then book 4 is Salute the Dark. And it is also short. It's about the same as Blood of the Mantis, but they're both significantly shorter than those first 2 books. So guys, if you had fun in the Feb Rising read-along, or if you didn't get a chance to join in that one, now is your time to join us in the new channel read-along. Guys, it's going to be so much fun, and I am so excited I have heard very little about this series. Part of this is we wanted to discover, like, discover kind of a new series together, and 4 books, I think, is pretty doable for people who want to participate in this. And after this, we'll have another poll, and we'll pick another series to do it. So guys, 3 new books for August, September, October on shelf space, and then the brand new read-along August of the Apt here on my Discord. Guys, I'm super excited to have any of you join us. It's going to be a blast. As always, information about my Patreon and Discord is down in the description, and I'll see you next time, guys.